Okay, basically what I wanted to do was get the emotion, the thoughts and the behavior in. I think Sebastian had like a very concrete way of doing it, and I just heard about another one. So for women it would be like, I saw this dress, it's like 250 euros. Oh my god. But in my brain I go like, 250 euros, that's too much. So picture myself, oh, the emotion is going, and then I go into my brain, it's like, 250, I cannot pay for that, I cannot pay for that. Well, actually, I can wear it next year and the year after, so it's like an investment for like 10 years. So then, we got like, the feeling is okay, then the thoughts are okay, back to the feeling, yeah, I still want it, still want it. And then you go like, how is that with behavior? And now I can see myself having this dress, walking.
Ain't I beautiful?
Ain't I beautiful on the beach?
Yes, you are.
Everybody's going like, wow!
And my husband doesn't love me.
And I go back to my feelings, say like, yes, it still feels great. I buy the, okay. And then I come home, and I have to explain it. Okay? So what I do then, I'll get rid of the feeling, get rid of the thing, and I start getting like, well, the reason I bought it, it's an investment, you know. And then my guy goes like, now this is women. Men do it totally different. They don't have all that in. Like Chris, a bike. How much was it?
A good one, 5,000.
5,000 euros?
For bike.
It's a cheap one.
Yeah. So you got like 3,500 euros, and the emotion is there because you want to go. And then you go like thinking 3,500 euros. This is really good bike, you know. And I'm going to use it like multiple years, and it is like 3,500 for 5,000 euros. Once I use it for a year and I want to have another bike, I can sell this for easily 3,000 euros.
So actually,
Maybe 4,000 euros because I know how to sell now. And then you go to it, yeah. So you see yourself on your bike doing things. In cars they do this all the time. Get into the car. So you feel yourself, you go and have a tour with it. And then you're lost. And then you come home and you go to your friends, look at his bike. And your friends go like, but most of Chris' friends also ride a bike. So they don't go like, Jesus. They go like, wow, 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 well done. So these doctors, they all got doctor friends doing the same thing. They go, wow. So that's what you got. That's what you want. We got an IV team in, and I got this and that, and the echo, and I can do this and that, and look at that. That's what they're doing. And the other doctors go like, I want that. Yeah, but that's what. So the first people in will be the people like, I'm out of here. I want to have like an IV team. This is not happening anymore. The rest of the bunch are like, well, he has an IV team, and I don't have the IV team. I want the IV team. And that's what's going to happen. So if you get enough IV teams in from vegan products, the others will follow, and they don't want to have the other products in. They want to have like best. That's what's happening. So that's the thing that's happening now. It sounds a little bit more logic. Mm-hmm. So basically what you need to do is you have to make the outcome, the sun here, you have to make that image for them. And this is the thing. I go, here you go. If you make an image for the emotion, the image can only exist about 5 things. It can exist of pictures in your head, sound in your ears, the behaving and the senses on your body. This is what makes up an emotion. So you know this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to have this in, There are also these 5 things, but they're different, a little bit different. The logic has another picture than the picture from the emotion. If you want to have a picture with both things in. And the logic, we call that internal digital. We have a little thing in imagination, and we can actually say like, well, the logic in this is, and it's like 5% of the brain, or 5% of our decisions, it's like that. If I ask you, the dress, why did you buy the dress? You come up with a reason, and the reason will be this one, but because you bought it with emotions and so on, this reason will suck anyway. That's why they got all these doctors and all these procedures in hospital.
And what if the mind wins the emotions?
What if
The mind wins
it happens?
a lot.
It is possible. You know, I know a mind that always wins on these 2 things. I got a name for this person. He's called Dalai Lama. He got total control over this one and this one.
That's not fair.
As
Allee, sorry, nog even. 3 minuten
Hij wil geen meer langs.
Binnenkort zien we elkaar in NASA.
so you can, and some doctors they're really going. Some doctors they got problems with emotions, and then you can put your emotion away. Just shut it up. If you got a heavy accident, then you shut it up automatically, and then you put it back up. If you don't put it back on, and then it's your thinking about the emotion. Then you got ideals in here. If you're stuck in this without that, then you're like walking like that. You think that that's the way you should behave in the emotion. It's like, you can have like 5 years of study on this, okay? Don't worry too much about it. What we want is we want to have like, create this in here. We want to have create this. That's why you have 10 years of sales. You can actually learn all that. But I want to have the basics in. You want to make the picture, you want to make the right sound, you want to have everything in. Some people go here like smell. Not many doctors do that. Or they want to touch it. They want to touch everything. The sound. I got people who when they buy a house, they go like this. Oh, I like that sound. Yes, that's the perfect house for me. Yeah, I know. But we do that all the time. We take things out of proportion. When I buy a car, well, as long as it's red, it's okay. I don't care about the rest. Is that okay? So, if you want to teach the first thing in a presentation, you want to have at least, you want to have the logic in. Because afterwards, they have to present it to the team, they have to present it to the other doctors, and they have to, and all these doctors go like, well, sounds logic or not? And you go like, well, here we got the stack of reports and investigations we did with Vigo. They'll never read it, but you need to get them in. If you get them in as soon as possible, they go like, okay, that's so in order. Click, done. There are like 5% of doctors that actually read them. You all worked in hospitals?
Yeah.
For those who worked in the hospital, how many doctors actually reads whatever they got in?
Not even the name.
Yeah, all professors.
Mike says professor.
Yeah, well, an average specialist needs to read 60 papers a week if he should do what he should be
Doing.
Nobody can read 60 papers a week.
I can, but that's
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go into the medical profession, because you actually have to do it then.
Yeah.
But there are people who know how to do that. But most people, they go like, you're nuts. So they're behind already. How do they keep update? Well, that's easy. You come in.
Yeah.
You tell them what's new now. That's why you're an authority. That's why they like you. If you can tell them about more than just your product, they hang on your lips. Like, okay, tell me this. So in one domain, if you can have like the studies in, know a little bit about it, you're an expert all over the place. Even for a doctor who has studied like so many years. That's how it works. That's why you want to be the expert. That's why you want to have a presentation of 4 minutes with all the numbers in it. They can go, yeah, done my homework, done it. And that's what we're going to make this afternoon. A presentation with all the numbers in it. And you go like, oh my God, do I have to make it? Well, if you make it, and they ask you, well, how many people? Well, actually happy they can go home. And you go like, well, we did a study in America and there seems like 40%, this was like 3,704 people that on Wednesday afternoon were dismissed and this brought the hospital so many and so many. Just pinpoint it, really pinpoint it. Don't go on average, no, just pinpoint it. Then you go, okay, click, done. Then move on, next question. You have to eliminate all the questions. In a presentation, we eliminate the basic questions that people have. So you don't have to get that in. Is that okay? Sounds reasonable? I don't know if it sounds reasonable. That's what we're going to do. We want to start and do this. And we want to picture the golden retriever, the worst case scenario back in. Because now we know the worst case how it works. And then we're going to do, the next of the thing is this, closing down all the way. Decision-making patterns. The way our brain, and I'm talking about this one, our computer, how the computer actually makes a decision. Is that okay? We're going to, this is like the only way you make decisions. Is that okay for you? Decision? First of all, the first thing our brain needs are our computer. I'll talk about the computer, about the golden retriever. The golden retriever is very easy. If I go like, yeah, it starts going like. So, because I'm like a picture and I make the sound, so you'll see that somebody goes up and up and up, and before you know it, everybody's like, yeah. On the other hand, if somebody's like very down, and you go sit with them, you're getting down, and somebody else is getting down, before you know it, you get like a sales presentation, everybody goes, it happens. So you want to have like people, sometimes you want to go like, ha. Why? As long as she's laughing, you hear the laughter and you start a little bit, not too much. So basically, the computer in here, it's not a golden retriever, it's a computer. It starts with a trigger. So you need to trigger the computer to get started. If you have a car and you start them in the morning, it's going like, that's a trigger to buy a new car. That's the way it works. So if you have a doctor and everything is working in hospital, you don't have a buying trigger. They will never buy. So first you have to actually let them see the worst case scenario, that worst case is not normal. It's like, wow, you're still at that stage? Wow, you can't go home in the weekend? Woo! You need to get that trigger in. You do that through sales and through marketing. You get that trigger in. Wow, everybody's having an iWatch. I haven't got it yet. You want to get that trigger in. That's why they do it on television and in the cinema. And you get nuts. They get it in and in and in. So you need a trigger. Once you got the trigger, we call that operation. What the brain does is starting to get like information in. In other words, when you get into hospital, they get all these papers in, you got in, and then another sales got in, and they get to get the picture right. All the information they want, they get it in here. What they do then, they call it test. They think in their head, they got like this ideal situation, and they test if the product, the way vegan is thinking, is correct with the way they are thinking. Is that Chris, you have an ideal bicycle in your head? Somebody has an ideal dress in their head? Like that's the one? I got those votes. It's not a dress. You get that, and then when I go and buy some, I go like, does it match? So this is like, in my head, the ideal situation, and whatever I got, vegan comes by, give me this product, I compare. And I go like, okay, it's a match, or it's a no match. If it's a match, then it's okay, you sign a contract. If it's a no match, I start all over. Basically, maybe the ideal situation in my head was too ideal, so I have to change that. Or maybe I don't have enough information, get other information that would help. Or maybe we don't need an IV team right now. We can actually wait a few years. You understand that? Mm-hmm. So if you want to sell products, the only thing you need to do is change this pattern of testing and make this picture. It starts with making the right picture. If you got the right picture, where only the products of vegan can competition. No, you don't have this. We don't. Well, we have that, and that's important, and it's important. And then you have to influence this part. Get the picture right. We're going to get the picture right today. And tomorrow, we're going to influence this part. Is there something about the big line that vegan has and that the competition doesn't have? Some, come on.
Vegan cards.
So, if you can convince them here that that's an important part, or in the picture, like, and you use it for that, and that's so important. If they take the decision and your competition comes in, they don't stand a chance because this will be changed and they want to do that, the outcome, the ideal situation of vegan. Is that okay? Somebody has a question about that. You can. I am clear this time.
Yes.
Even for me. I'm happy. Is it?
Yeah.
You got people, you got two problems in this decision. First of all, to actually influence this, the people has to be a little bit open to what you're telling them. You got people that are totally closed internally. I don't care, I'll decide for myself. So you can't get that in. It happens. You know?
The trigger can be a certain frustration.
Yeah. But we start with the sun. You want to have a sun up there. The sun is the IV team, is the IV policy they got, like the new thing in there.
Yeah, I mean the first step, the trigger.
The trigger
that could be a frustration.
Frustration. Best of all is a frustration. In this case, it will be a frustration. In the worst case scenario, that's the frustration you want to get in here. We did the test about this. I'll tell about the test later. So basically, you got people, they don't want to hear about that. They'll take the decision totally internally. You cannot influence them. So that happens. And then the other case scenario is also worse, is they got this, and they say like, yeah, you're right. Next morning somebody else comes in. They change their mind, yeah. Next day somebody else comes in, they change their mind. God, you know those people? They change their mind all the time. So if you close somebody down that changes their mind all the time, what you want to do is you want to close them down and want to actually sign a paper or something that they're committed to it. Otherwise, the next day you can start all over again. this, and this is the best way to close a deal. You picture this, and you give as less information as possible. Why? When I give an information in here, they start going like, oh, but then that could be a problem, and that could be a problem, that could be a problem. So they start having problems all over the place. What I do, what I should want to do with the pick line is, you close them. Once they close, and you go in to get your 5 pick lines, then in the process, all the problems that come up, and they will come up, you start explaining them then. So if you can close without actually telling too much, it's better, because you will have to solve the problems anyway. But if you didn't close them here, all the problems come in, you're in for a treat from 3 to 4 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 months. And then the next one comes in and says, well, you can't only get Figon in, we need to have this one in and that. And then you start losing it. So you want to close them in your head, get like 5 big lines in, insert them, and then you want to explain all the problems and all the things that could happen. I don't want to have this one. If they only got 2 criteria, that's okay with me. Once I solve them, I'll explain how it works. I'll get them the ideal situation or everything that's in. Is that okay? This is the computer working for you on the IV team. These are like 16 questions that will come up every time. They're in Dutch here. So you need to get a presentation in with these 16 questions. So I'm going to ask you to make a presentation and get an answer to these 16 questions. Is that okay? You can do it in team. The more specific you are, the better it is. If you go like complication going down, you have to tell me how much they go down from a study. Somebody has a study in? Give me its number.
Size for week, 23% versus 8%, I think. So the CVC infection rate is 23% and the pick line rate is 8%. So that's a start goal.
Minus 15.
Minus 15. You want to get the numbers right. You want to say like, well, this study, and you want to name the study by name, has like 8% versus 23%. It's not 8%, it's 8.01%. The more accurate you are, the more impressed you'll be. If you got like general number, they won't believe you. So if you give a presentation, I want you to have like these 16 things in, because you always have those questions, and you do it once, and then it's done. And then a new study will come out, and then but that will be like down the road. The first time you do a PICT, an IV, these are the questions in logic. Now, the emotions, look at that, isn't that a lovely baby? That's an emotion for some people. You get that in. Other people, they go like, what a lovely baby. Oh my God. No, somebody who doesn't want to have kids, you want to have kids?
This is how we look like. Hier gaan we dus. So what we want to do with the emotion is get the emotion from 0 up all the way. Here it's like a scale of 1 to 6. The 6 are doers. You want to have the emotion in 2. So first we got in the logical aspects, and then we got in the emotional pattern. The emotional pattern, I did a study for vegan on the emotional patterns. This is how it works for starting an IV team. We got all this in here. I put the study behind, in the back. So you can read it, it's in Dutch, but I think in every team that somebody can actually, you got some stories in there. This is how it actually happens time after time after time. Why doctors come in, I want the IV team now. It's explaining that. Basically what they do is, they go in, get the blue arm in, after a while they have to get in, and they get tired, they explode. Now it's done. Recognize the story? Anesthesiologists go like, I don't do this anymore. I want to have a policy in. You got one? You have somebody like that? No?
Bruxelles, no? Is that Bruxelles?
So they explode. But we don't do the negatives for vegan. So what I want to do for you is like, once they exploded, they have a few emotions in that actually trigger them to buy the products. One of the emotions is autonomy. They want to have their own IV team, and it's their team. You got that? It's like the IV team, it's my team. Autonomy. So you want to have like in your ideal picture something that's going like the autonomy of the anesthesiologist. You want to have something like concentration and relaxation. This is a passion. When I got like in, I can work with all the big lights and I put them in. That's a passionate thing for me. I concentrate, but at the same time, this is what I love to do. I got like the echo in, I got, wow. That's for the peak easy. Concentration, relaxation. They think that the patient, once they got it in, will experience, that's their thinking of freedom. The patient will be free, can do more freely, can go home in some instances. So they want to have a story about freedom in that. You want to have a story about that. They think because they did it, they're privileged. And actually, and this is like the higher emotions, they think it's funny and it's pretty nice, so they're smiling about it. Now this is the thing. If you're going in, you're going to make a pig line, you do it, the procedure once, twice, 3 times. You went in, you do the procedure 3 times, and they're like here in their feelings. When somebody goes wrong, they stop. You have to guide them until they get this feeling. Sounds okay? I come, once you do the presentation, I come by, I explain again and again and again. What I want you to do is, the action pattern is them signing, so that's afterwards we're going to do that. What I want you to do is make me a presentation where actually you got the ideal emission for the feeling and for the logic. You can do that in team. You got like an hour and a half to do that. So you can work in team. I want to have a presentation. The 16 questions should be in.
Yeah.
Can be a PowerPoint, can be whatever you want. I want to have a presentation. I want to get the numbers in as good as possible. About 10 minutes, and all the things, all the 16 questions should be in it. All the emotions you need to be, you want to have them in there. I'll come by, check out, explain some things. Is that okay?
Sure.
An hour and a half.
Oh,